Have you noticed that everybody's talking about how to live longer, what to eat, what to drink, what to take? Well, I think most of it sounds exhausting, and I'm not doing any of it. At this stage in life, longevity isn't about doing more, it's about doing less, but doing it consistently. And that's what we're talking about today. Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. Well, I've been thinking about this word lately, longevity. You seem to hear it everywhere. Everybody wants to live longer. Now, of course, I have a different take on it. I mean, why wouldn't I? I dance to the beat of a different drummer. But I don't want a longer life to become a full time job, if you know what I mean. People follow these guidelines that tell you, okay, this is what you have to eat, this is what you have to drink, these are the supplements you have to take, this is the amount of sleep you have to get, and on and on and on. That's just too much for me, and I'm not doing it. I'm just here to tell you, I don't listen to any of that stuff. Now, if you do, that's okay. There's nothing wrong if you do. I'm just saying for me personally, that's just too much for me at this stage in life. I don't want to live a life that feels like work or a full-time job. I want to live a life that feels peaceful and enjoyable and comfortable. Those are the things that matter to me. Now, yes, we should all do our best to take care of ourselves and make healthy choices when you can, but is that top of mind for me? No, it isn't. And I'm just being honest. I don't think about those things. I just think about my day to day life. To me, longevity is not built in these big dramatic changes. It's built in the way we live our ordinary life in our ordinary days. So, I'm going to share with you what I do for longevity because I believe it works. It works for me. It may not work for you, but it really does work for me. And I try to view longevity not from a medical standpoint, but just from a common sense standpoint. So, one of the things is routine. I've talked about routine before. A daily routine is very important to me. And it doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't have to be strict and scheduled and all that. It just has to be how I want to spend my day. I don't want to wake up in the morning and say, okay, what am I going to do today? How am I going to spend the day? And cause myself all that mental clutter. I know what I'm going to do every day. I pretty much do the same things day in and day out. But none of them are like hard and fast rules. In other words, it's not scheduled. I don't say to myself, I'm going to sweep at 9 o'clock and then by 10 o'clock, I have to have the laundry in. I'm not putting all that on myself. I'm going to wake up, be grateful that I woke up and I have the day, and I'm going to go about my daily routine and enjoy it as much as I can. I don't have to sit here and think, okay, what's next? What's next? And get all anxious about it and complicate it and create all this chaos. I know what's next. Whatever rhythm my body takes me in, whatever direction, I always know what I'm doing every day. I mean, basically, of course, things come up, but I'm just going to wake up, live my life, do the things I enjoy, and that's it, period, the end. No pressure, no stress, No timelines and no guidelines. Not for this old girl. The second thing is consistency, and I mean consistency over intensity. It's not about the big things you do in life. It's about the things that you do in your day to day life. Just the small little daily things that you have in your life today. I am very consistent in what I do. I enjoy taking my walks. I enjoy my cup of coffee. I like to clean. I like to iron. I like to move things around and redecorate and things like that. So I'm very consistent, but I am not intense. I'm not going to jump in there and say, okay, starting today, every day on the hour, the alarm will go off and I'm going to drink down 8 ounces of water. No, I'm not doing that. I'll drink water here and there, not as much as I should, but it's not regimented for me. I don't want to be on any kind of a schedule. It just works that way for me. Another thing I do for longevity, and again, it's just my common sense approach for me, is I don't spend the day figuring out how I want to live, how I want to live my life. I already know. I don't need decision fatigue. I'll give you an example, like eating. I don't like a lot of choices because really I don't like that much. I'm kind of limited. I know what I'm going to eat every day, and it's usually the same thing day in and day out. I don't want to have choices all day long. I don't want to think about, oh, am I going to have meatloaf or seafood or chicken or this or that? Oh my gosh. No, that doesn't work for me. Some of you may enjoy that because, you enjoy food. But for me, I don't want no decision fatigue in any area of my life. I don't want decision fatigue on, okay, what's healthy? Is this healthy enough? Well, how much protein does this have? Have I had enough protein today? Did I count it, weigh it, measure it, track it? Oh my gosh. There's no way I could do that at my age. I'm not interested. I don't want to have to decide those things. I do my best, but I'm not interested in being perfect or thinking that, okay, in order to live another 10, 20 years, I have to do this, 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 and be on some regimented schedule. That makes my life a job. I want to live my life. I don't want my life to be a job. I'm not saying that's a bad thing for those of you who enjoy that and you're very conscious of what you eat, how much liquid you drink, supplements you take. Great for you. Good on you. I'm just saying for me, it doesn't work and I'm not interested. So I have simplified my life so much. And I don't sit around and figure out, what I'm going to do all day or how I'm going to extend my life. I just live my life. That's all. I just live my life each day. Another thing I do for my longevity is I don't chase any health trends. Really, I don't like anything to do with medical stuff. And that's not new to any of you that have been with me for a while. One day this is so good for you, you must have it, you must get this amount of it. And then the next day, oh, well, that was bad for you. Shame on us. We shouldn't have told you that. No, don't do that anymore. Now you need to do this. One minute coffee is bad, bad for you. And the next minute, oh, we just discovered coffee is actually good for you. Well, where I'm at in my life, I don't care if it's good or bad. I love it. I enjoy it, and I'm drinking it. I don't care what some health professional says to me about that. And you know, I feel the same way about my sweets. I love my sweets, and I'm having them. Nobody's going to tell me that I can't have them. Is it causing me harm? It could be. Am I aware of that? Yeah. Am I worried about it? Oh, heck no. Absolutely not. Everything causes us harm. Walking out the front door causes us harm. Breathing in the air causes us harm. You know, being out in public causes us harm. My gosh, you can't even live a life if you have to live under all those strict guidelines and what all the health gurus tell us to do. That's a choice I'm not going to make. I'm not going by what they say. I'm going by my own common sense gut instinct. Another thing is enjoyment. If you're not enjoying your life, why are you trying to extend it? Who wants to live longer if they don't enjoy their life? They don't have joy in their life. They're not happy. They're miserable. I mean, that doesn't even make sense. Sometimes people would rather stay alive no matter what's going on, no matter how bad they feel, than just say, the heck with it. I'm going to enjoy my life. Now, I'll give you an example. There are some people, and I get it, I truly get it. If they find out that they have a terminal illness or something, they want to try every treatment available. The treatments might make them sick. It could cause them to lose their hair, their appetite, all kind of things. But if they feel they're going to get, another year or 2 or 5 out of life, then they want to do it. And that's okay because that's their choice. But then there are other people that say, you know what? I want to enjoy the time I have. I want quality far more than I want quantity. I mean, if you're younger and you have a young family, young children, oh my gosh, I can't imagine what someone must feel like because they want to be there for their family. They're young. They feel they're too young to leave this earth. But, me being in my 70s, I want quality life. I don't care about the quantity. I think when you enjoy your life, you stay connected to it. And by staying connected to life, you're going to live it. You're going to live it your way. And the last thing I'll talk about is just simplicity. To me, longevity goes along with simplicity, having a simple life. The more complicated your life is, the more you dread it, the more you don't even want to engage in your own life. I just want a life that feels natural and that's easy to keep up with. I've had all the complications in life just like all of you have. But now I don't need them. I don't want them. And I'm not going to let them take over my remaining years. I'm not going to spend my life that way. We've talked about many things on this channel. I've talked about, being a people pleaser, not being able to say no, worrying about what other people think, and all the things that we've all been through, and hopefully we have been able to move beyond it by this stage in life. But by having all that within you, I think that puts a damper on longevity. Because if you're constantly worried about what people think and you have to say yes to things you don't want to do, I think that puts way too much on your body and on your mind. I've also talked about the social aspect. Again, they tell us, those experts say we have to be social. Otherwise, oh, geez, life is going to be over. We have to go places and do things and all that. If it's not within you, if that's not who you are, then no, you don't have to be that way. If I make myself be a way that I'm not, that isn't who I truly am, that's going to create stress and tension and anxiety and all the negative things that can affect my longevity. So I'm living true to who I am. These are the things that I feel are giving me longevity in my life. So, how do you all feel about that? How do you view longevity? Do you view it in its, what you eat and drink and the supplements you take and the exercise you do? And trust me, I'm not saying that those things aren't important. Of course they are. And I think we should all do the best we can. I'm just saying there's a lot more to longevity than just those things. Our mental well being, our spiritual health, our calm spirit, the way we are in our lives every day matter just as much, maybe even more. Who knows? There's not going to be an expert out there that's going to talk about that. But I'm just telling you that's what works for me. And I would love to know how you feel about it. What is your opinion? Do you even think about it? Do you feel like you're coming under all these rules and guidelines and you're trying to keep up with everything? You could be in your mid 70s, even 60s, 80s, anything, and you're trying so hard to keep up with what is being pushed and pumped into your head, that you've got to do this every day and you've got to do that, and you feel like your whole day is planned out for you with these strict guidelines and routines that you have to adhere to. At the end of the day, yeah, you might be healthier, but did you enjoy your day? Are you enjoying your life? I'm just saying those things have to be considered as well. So the bottom line is, I'm just trying to make sure that my everyday life feels good to live. That's all. I just want my everyday life to be enjoyable. I don't want anything more. I'm not looking for anything big or grand or these incredible changes. I'll take consistency, my routine, my daily routine. I'll take knowing what I'm going to eat every day. I'll take giving myself permission to have 5 cups of coffee in a day if that's what I choose, or giving myself permission to eat what I feel like eating. Things like that. That's all I want out of my life at this point. How about you? Longevity isn't something that you chase. It's something that you grow over how you live your life each and every day. I mean, I can't tell anybody how long they're going to live. Nobody knows that. And that's okay too. And I'm not trying to change that in any way, shape, or form. There are people who do everything right and leave this earth far too soon. And then there's people who do everything wrong and they're still hanging in there in their upper 90s. You know, to each his own. Make your own choices. All I want for myself and for all of you is to be able to say that you are enjoying your life in whatever way you're living it. All right, I've got to move on to an inside beauty tip. My inside beauty tips comes from Job 14:5 and Psalm 139:16. Job 14:5. A person's days are determined. You have decreed the number of his months and have set limits he cannot exceed. And then Psalm 139:16. You saw me before I was born. Every day of my life was recorded in your book. Every moment was laid out before a single day had passed. I wanted to read those two scriptures to kind of give you an idea of where I'm coming from and where I stand on longevity. Now, everybody thinks differently, and you have the right to do so. But what these two passages mean to me, and what I have always believed and have a very firm belief in, is that my death or our deaths are predetermined before we are born. We can do everything we can to live a long and healthy and fruitful life. But when our number's up, it's up, and nothing's going to change it. Just like I said in the video, you can do everything wrong, everything you're told not to do because it's going to cut your life short, and you end up living to your mid or upper 90s. How do you square that up? Well, for me personally, and again, this is just my belief, it doesn't mean it has to be yours. Because our life, our death is predetermined, we can't change that. Now, you could say, well, this guy was drinking and driving and he ended up in a car accident and he was killed at 42 years old. And yeah, that happened, or I'm sure that has happened in life. But how do we know that wasn't his day to die anyhow? Everybody is going to die from something. So if you get a heart disease at 87 years old and you die from heart disease, it may not be because you ate all the wrong things and you did all the wrong things and your arteries were all clogged up with plaque and you had high blood pressure and all the things. That might have been what they say caused your death, but I believe you were going to die on that day anyhow. It's just you have to die from something. I don't know if this makes any sense at all, but this is how I think. I believe God has absolute sovereignty over life and over death. And I believe it's John 10:10 that says Jesus came to give us life and give it in abundance. I believe he wants us to have an abundant life, to enjoy our lives, to feel joy, to be happy, to have peace, to be calm, and all the things. And so that's why I live my life the way I do. That's why longevity for me are the things that I mentioned in my video. I don't know if I'm right, if I'm wrong. All I know is I'm right for me. This is what works for me. It may not for you. Sometimes we have to be careful what we wish for. We may wish for a very long life. We may say, I want to be here until I'm in my upper 90s or 100. And we may get that wish granted, but we don't know that we will be healthy. We don't know that we will be of sound mind. We have no idea of any of these things. So to me, it's not worth worrying about. It's not worth fretting about. It's not worth trying to defy the odds. So I'm going to eat 15 eggs a day because the experts say I'll defy the odds and I'm going to live an extra 10 years if I do that. No, for me, I don't care what they say. I'm just going to live my life and enjoy it each and every day. Be thankful for it, be grateful for it, and leave it at that. That's just the choice I make. I'd love to know what your choice is. I thank you so much for being here today. I truly do appreciate it. And until we meet again, this is the old girl signing out. See ya.